Welcome back. Vijay Mallya chose to fight fire with fire. This after several questions have appeared in the recent past about the viability of his airline, given the fact that aviation turbine fuel costs in the country are extremely high. He did speak to NDTV's Economic Affairs editor Shweta Rajpal Kohli a little while earlier on. Let's listen to what he had to say.
The king of good times facing some very tough and turbulent times with regard to Kingfisher Airlines. Great to have with us here on NDTV. Vijay Mallya, thanks so much, Mr. Mallya, for speaking to us on NDTV. Would it be fair to say that Kingfisher Airlines is on the verge of bankruptcy and you're fighting for survival?
You know, you can come to any conclusion that you want to. There's so much written about every day, so much broadcast, so many conclusions, so many commentaries. If you want to write the epitaph of Kingfisher Airlines in advance, there's nothing I can do about it. All I know is that the airline is flying. It's flying its full schedule as published in its website. The UB Group and its friends and associates have pumped in a lot of money, 800 crores to be precise, in 2011 into the airline. That shows solid commitment. We have additional working capital needs. We've applied to our consortium of bankers. Meetings have been held. At the end of the day, if you want to draw conclusions, well,
but you are in a financial mess. Is that correct? I mean, we were not on the verge of bankruptcy, but financially, the airline is debt-ridden. Financially, the airline is looking at talking to lenders, talking to its banks, trying to get even working capital assistance at this time. Would that be correct?
You can call it a mess, you can call it whatever you want. That perhaps is because you don't have a full understanding. The debt of Kingfisher Airlines is not out of line with
the industry standards,
with carriers of its size.
Right.
Under the master debt recast agreement, we have 9 years to pay this debt.
Right.
So it isn't as if debt is falling due immediately in the short term, which we can't afford to pay. So I don't understand why this constant focus on the debt level.
Okay.
We are looking at bringing down all our costs.
Right.
One of the important costs that we're looking to reduce is interest costs.
Right.
Because the interest rates in India have been hiked over a dozen times in the last 18 months.
Right.
Under our viability assessment plan done in December 2010, rather recently, our interest rate was calculated at 11%. It's now closer to 14%. We need to address that. We are working with our consortium of banks to see ways and means of reducing the interest burden.
Right.
Maybe repaying high-cost rupee loans, substituting them with some foreign exchange loans, opening letters of credit to get back maintenance reserve deposits, etc., etc. Now, if you want to call this a mess, when somebody is doing all the right things, I mean, we cancelled certain loss-making flights. It's prudent to cancel the flights.
Right.
Okay, and because we can't continue to operate on every sector and make a loss in this high-cost regime. I mean, fuel and the windfall gains being made by the state governments as a result of taxes on fuel are inaffordable to airline companies. But we've still respected the need to maintain connectivity in our country.
Right.
We are the only airline that flies to certain destinations, and loss or profit, we continue to operate those routes because we respect the need for connectivity that goes hand in hand with economic growth. So we are doing our bit. But we are also tightening our own belts. Okay. We've come under heavy criticism on the manner in which we did it.
That's what I was coming to. The reason why you've been under such sharp focus, the reason why you're saying that everyone's singling out Kingfisher, it's true that most other airlines are bleeding. Why the spotlight on Kingfisher is because of certain decisions taken by your airline to cancel way too many flights. There are customers who are unhappy to find out that, okay, their flight has just been cancelled. You admitted that you could have handled it better. Why the sudden need to go ahead and cancel these flights?
You know, in the airline business, if you operate, okay, daily, the number of flights, once an airplane takes off, the loss is booked. It's as simple as that. So we assessed this over a period of time, and we looked at the loss-making flights. We also decided on aircraft reconfiguration because we could improve our revenue production.
Right.
All right, we contacted each one of our guests. I can safely say that almost 90% of them were contacted, rebooked on other carriers.
But there were several who were very
rescheduled-
unhappy and harassed.
Rescheduled on our own flights, or where the tickets were refunded.
Right.
Yes, maybe we did not handle 10% of those displaced guests properly. I admit, and I deeply apologize to them for any inconvenience that I have caused. But yes, I admitted that we might have been able to do things better. But to take that as a point and then suddenly say that, well, Kingfisher is bankrupt, is not a statement of fact.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.